The Wellness Revolution starts now.
Hello, I'm Dr. Steve Hotze, and welcome to today's program. It's our privilege to have today our guest for the program, one of our guests here at the Health and Wellness Center, and that's Jessica Silva. Jessica came to us originally in 2012, and she's been a guest of ours since then. So now, Jessica, not only did you have tremendous success here at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center, that caused you to want to share the story with others, particularly your mama, Martha. So tell us about that. She was living in New York at the same time you're up there?
Yes, in fact, she's always been living with me, and same thing in the Northeast. So when I moved over, she stayed there for an extra year and then moved here a year later. So right before she moved, she had already become a member of Hotze.
So she came in around 2000, and you came in 2012, right? And she came in 2013 or 14.
Yes,
so
right about that time.
So your mama came in and apparently did well for a period of time, but I think a few years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago, she started to exhibit some dementia.
Yes, and she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's roughly formally the beginning of 2019.
Right. And so how did this affect her quality of life and your ability to relate to her? How did the Alzheimer's and the dementia manifest itself in her behavior?
In her behavior, oh my goodness. At her worst, it was moments of irritability that we couldn't control. Of course, the anger, the extreme amounts of confusion, extreme amounts of paranoia, just all of those psychotic behaviors. If we go for a walk, she will want to open the trash cans, pick up stuff from outside, couldn't really express her needs, more her wants. Food-wise, had declined a lot on her intake. And so she's lost, 2020 was our worst year because pandemic, of course, didn't help people, not being able to socialize much. And thank God the practice was different and that approach. So that also helped into having to her being seen and blood work, everything was just amazing. And that was our space of breathing, I would say, in the Hotze practice. And so in that year, she lost about roughly 20 pounds because her appetite had just declined a lot. So 2020 gave her a push for the worst. Mm-hmm. And so
and your mama's how old's your mama now?
She's turning 69 next month.
She's still a young woman.
She is, yes.
When you get to be my age, you appreciate it. Oh, to be 69 again. Those were the days. Those were the days of glory. Well, listen.
Yeah.
Okay, so she had these problems. She went and saw a neurologist, and I see where they put her on a bunch of psychotropic drugs, trying to correct, seeing if they could, in some way or another, improve her Alzheimer's. Did the drugs make any difference at all?
Yes. So we saw the neurologist the very first time. He had placed her at that time on Namenda, the routine medication for this condition. And he placed it on 20 milligrams. I think a year or 2 years went by, and her sleep was very much disrupted. And so decided to lower it on 10 milligrams, which she remains on it. Eventually, because of those behaviors, he tried, what did he try? He tried bupropion, he tried Seroquel, and she was just getting bad side effects to the point that one time she almost fell because she got dizzy. So I decided not to continue with that. And we continue with, of course, supplements, nutrition, and all of that stuff. But that's what he actually had placed her to help with and the latest one he had done was the sertraline to a max of 150 milligrams. Yes, so.
And she just wasn't doing well. And so she came in and she was seeing Dr. Ellsworth as well, right?
Yes, Dr. Ellsworth as well.
And so about 3 or 4, and so basically the medication she was on and she was on numerous different psychotropic medications, and none were resolving the problem. In fact, some of them had significant side effects. She had to take her off some of these drugs. And so Dr. Ellsworth recommended trying her on Methylene Blue.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so that was about 3 or 4 months ago?
Just about 3 months ago.
Okay.
Exactly 3 months ago.
Okay. And she was still on these other medications that she'd been taking for several years. And so what happened? Did Methylene Blue make any difference?
We actually, yes. And let me say I had discontinued, of course, the bupropion. I had discontinued the Seroquel. And when we started Methylene Blue, we still had the sertraline.
Right.
And we had, and just a little bit of Abilify. And so we started the Methylene Blue, and we know the Methylene Blue, of course, will do its own regulation of our neurotransmitters, right? Serotonin and dopamine. So I started seeing that the sertraline seemed, she was going into this syndrome, what they call a serotonin syndrome. And so I decided, spoke to neurology, we started decreasing. Well, we have been able to decrease it so much to the point that now she is barely now on 25 milligrams out of 150, 25 milligrams of the sertraline, and still just a very little amount of Abilify, 5 milligrams in the morning, and if we need to, 5 milligrams in the afternoon. But Methylene Blue has just been amazing. It seems to me that it has this more subtle, more, much more of a healthier production, regulation of our neurotransmitters. So
how has this changed her behavior, her mental and cognitive behavior?
It's just been amazing, the improvements. So what I've seen is that if she does something, if she performs an activity, she will tell you that she did it.
Right.
She doesn't go back and repeat it. Like, oh, I forgot to do this. We'll do it again. She likes to do the dishes. She likes to be more participatory. She's increased her intake of foods, just different kinds. She had already had improvement, of course. I'm not gonna deny that there was some improvements with the very first doses of sertraline back in December of last year. But definitely with the Methylene Blue, it's got just a more complete picture. We go outside, she's sociable with people. We've been able to, we have also taken her out from the Sonra, which is a sleeping medication. Now she went back after a year, or almost a year and a half. She went back to sleeping 8 to 9 hours. And that was amazing for me. She is now she's been writing. She had stopped writing a while back, but the brain is sort of
sounds like it's kicked back in. Yeah, it sounds like it's kicking back in.
So what she writes will not be, precise or anything, but it's writing. So and I see the letters there. I mean, all the letters make sense. She is making sense with her needs, with her wants, expressing herself. She's also being, even clothing-wise, changing into different clothes. She used to be much more fearful and afraid before. That's also I noticed a difference in the regulation in that as well. And, offering help if there's anything that needs to be done. Just more in tune with her surroundings and awareness and things like that.
Well,
and of course, irritability, definitely much more controlled. She now is more aware of an impulse that she may have.
Now, this has all occurred. This improvement has occurred since she started the Methylene Blue 3 months ago.
Yes.
And nothing else changed other than you've decreased the dose of some of these other drugs that she was on.
Exactly.
And what has the neurologist said about this?
Well, he himself was amazed, and he said at the end of our, I think we had a visit last month, and at the end of our visit, he said, "Martha, I'm going to change your name from Martha to Miracle," because he himself was amazed of everything.
She's going to change the name from Martha to what?
To Miracle.
To Miracle.
Yes.
So the neurologist sees this as a miracle. She's never seen this before in any of her patients?
No, he wasn't even aware of methylene, and I actually had in my purse, I had the pamphlet from the hot seat practice.
Right. And
so I decided to hand it over to him. He was more than willing to learn about it, and he was amazed. So he said, last time he saw her was 6 months ago. So he said, I'm just amazed. You're just another person from the last time I saw you.
That's tremendous. Well, I really am. The reason I wanted you to share that is because we've had some wonderful experiences with guest improvement when they take Methylene Blue. Methylene Blue has a primary function of helping the power plants within your cells, called the mitochondria, to produce energy. That energy, of course, is important for every cell in your body. It has to produce energy, electrical energy, to drive all the biochemical reactions. And so as your cells produce energy, those organs then begin to function well. And that includes the heart, the liver, kidneys, the brain. So so this is very important, and apparently this has had a really significant and powerful impact on her Alzheimer's and dementia. Now, we don't say that we primarily treat people with Alzheimer's or dementia, but we know that our program on longevity and our program that helps our guests develop energy, we know that can have a significant impact on people's cognitive abilities. We've seen that over the years. So we're always looking for new ways to be able to help people improve naturally. And this Methylene Blue has been a breakthrough for many of our guests and I take it myself. And of course, I've been on my program for, 30 some odd years. So I've always felt brimming with energy and feel great. So I all the things we recommend, I use, and that may be the reason that I stay in good health. I may keel over dead tomorrow, but nobody's going to say Dr. Hotze lingered. I'll guarantee you that, and I haven't. But I'm so glad that your mother, Martha, has done extremely well on this, and I'm glad. I just wanted you to share that so people that may have a loved one that is having problems with dementia. My mother, by the way, is 95, but she has problems with dementia, and it all occurred after she went through, she had to go through anesthesiology for a kidney stone, and the gas, the anesthesiologist, the gas she used to anesthetize can have an adverse effect on older brains. And it did. It had an adverse effect on her. So she has not been mentally competent for a number of years. And I haven't put her on Methylene Blue. She's 95, and she's pretty much bedridden. And one of the effects that you have when you have Methylene Blue is that it turns your urine blue. It just it's where it's excreted. So if someone's bedridden, I don't know if that's going to be a call because it can stain things and all that. So, but if somebody like your mama is having problems with cognitive dysfunction, not doing well cognitively, whether it's due to Alzheimer's, just dementia and senile dementia as we get older. Methylene Blue is a good adjunct to other therapies that may be able to help them create the energy within the brain that helps them produce the neurotransmitters that helps them regain their mental capacity and mental function. So I'm glad this happened with your mom, and I'm so glad you shared that with us. Thank you so much for joining us today on the program, Jessica. I am very grateful to you. And if any of you want to get on a path of health and wellness, don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center at the number on the screen. 281-698-8698, the number on the screen. Call up and tell them you'd like a copy of a book. We'll send it to you free of charge. Why would I do that? I want you to be educated on how you can be healthy and well naturally without using pharmaceutical drugs, so that as you mature, you've got energy, vitality, and you're enthusiastic about life. Thank you again for joining us today, and thank you, Jessica.
At Physicians Preference Pharmacy, we understand that the quality of your compounded medications directly affects the way you feel, which is why we believe that your pharmacy should specialize in compounding medications while also delivering extraordinary hospitality and guest service. We believe that both patients and prescribers should accept nothing less than consistency and quality from their compounding pharmacy. This is why we've implemented some of the strictest quality standards in compounding, exceeding standard requirements, achieving PCAB accreditation, which is the Pharmacy Compounding Accreditation Board, an organization that sets the highest standards in compounding pharmacy regarding the safety, cleanliness, and quality of your compounded prescriptions. Because of our commitment to complete health and wellness, we are dedicated to making your medications free of lactose, parabens, artificial sweeteners, and any unnecessary dyes, binders, or fillers present in many other medications, offering you the cleanest products possible.
Information provided on this program is neither intended nor implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice and is not intended to replace the services of a physician, nor does it constitute a doctor-patient relationship. You should not use information from this radio program to diagnose or treat a health problem or disease without consulting with a qualified healthcare provider. If you have or suspect you have an urgent medical problem, promptly contact a professional healthcare provider or call 911. Dr. Hotze's Wellness Revolution advises you to always seek the advice of a physician or other qualified health provider prior to starting any new treatment or with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Any application of the recommendations from this program is at the listener's discretion.